solution. So we'll solve 1731, number of employees which report to each employee. It is of type easy, table name is employees, and it has 4 columns: employee ID, name, reports to, and age. Employee ID is the column with unique values for this table. So consider this as a employee table of a company. So every ID or every record in this will be unique. This table contains information about the employees and ID of their manager they report to. So employee ID 9, his name is Hershey and it reports to no one. Employee ID 6, name is Alice and reports to 9. Some employees do not report to anyone, report to is null. So employee ID 9, it don't report to anyone. Similarly, employee ID 2, it don't report to anyone. For this problem, we will consider a manager and employee. So we know that every manager is also an employee who has at least one other employee reporting to them. So if suppose there is manager who, if there is a manager and no one reports to them, we don't have to return that one. So this will be our constraint. Write a solution to report the IDs and name of all managers, the number of employees who report directly to them, and average age of reports rounded to nearest integer. Okay. Return the result table ordered by employee ID. So now let's look at the example. So I'll just copy this one. So the first thing is the report to should not be null. This we got it from here. That is number of this one. We will consider manager and employee who has at least one other employee reporting to them. And then also some employees do not report to anyone. So we don't have to return the manager ID where it is null. So the first thing is not null in the reports to, and the second thing is wherever the ID is present. So for this one the result will be 9 because this is the manager ID and 2 people report to him, employee ID 6 and 4. Now we have to look back into the employee table. So what is the name of this reports to 9? This is again an employee ID, so it is 9 and the name is Hershey. So we have to return Hershey. Now how many people report to him? So 2 people report to him, so we have to get the count of employee ID, right? And then the next thing we have to figure is what is the average age. So average age will be 41 plus 36 divided by count, so it will be 2 in this case, and then we have to round it to the nearest integer. So now let's look at the problem. So here if we look at this one, we know that we don't have to return null and null, so we can directly avoid this one. The next thing is we have to report the ID as 1. What's the name of 1? John. And how many people are reporting to him? 2. What is the age of them? 38 plus 42 by 2. For manager ID 2, again he is an employee. So what is the name of manager ID 2? It's Jane. And how many people are reporting to Jane? 2. What are the ages of them? 29 plus 33 by 2. Similarly for ID 3, what is the name? Its name is BOBN, Bob, and 2 people are reporting to Bob and their age is 26 plus 31 by 2. We don't have to return anything for this one, null. And then for 8, again 2 people are reporting to 8, and what is the name of 8? Grace. And what is the average age? 28 plus 35 by 2. So we are expecting 1, 2, 3 and 8. So now let's see. So we have already solved a similar question like this one. So every time if we have to find the relation between employees and manager, the simplest thing what we can do is connect the 2 tables using the join. So select from first table alias will be employee, so it will be employee, and then we can join the second table and call it M. This will be manager. on. Now we know that employees manager, so employees reports to is same as this report ID. It should be in the employee table because every manager is also an employee. This one. So now if I run this one, so what we are expecting here is, I'll collapse this one. So now let's look at the table. So employee ID 2, its name is Jane, and he reports to ID 1, and his Jane age is 38. Now we know that this manager is also an employee, so this is the second table. I'll collapse it more. So first, second, third, fourth, these are first 4 columns are for employee table, and these are the manager table. So again, the manager 1 is also an employee, his name is John, and then he don't report to anyone, and his age is 45, right? John. Now let's look at the next example. Let's look at the 6. So employee ID is 6. If we look at this one, so it will be same. Name is Eva, report to is 3, and age is 26. Now this 3 is again an employee whose name is Bob. He reports to 1, and age is 42. So now we know that what we have to return is, we have to return manager's employee ID, manager's name, and then we also have to return how many people are reporting to them. So we need to group by the first thing. If you remember, the first condition is not null in the reports to, so we have to put a condition in the where clause where employees reports to is not null, and then we can group by first 2 columns, because we have to get the count of people who are reporting to the manager. Then it will be count of E dot employee ID, and then we have to get the age. So average of E dot age as, let's give an alias for now as age, and then we also have to round it to the nearest integer. So first run this one. So in this case it is getting rounded to this one. So let's see if we are getting the expected result. So for 1 we know that we should get 2, count as 2, and then for 2 we should get count as 2, for 3 also 2, and 8 for 2. So now let's run this one in the lead code. I'll just give the correct alias. So it will be as employee ID, this will be name as name, next one will be reports to, so how many people are reporting. I think I have to reports count, it will be reports count, and then the last one will be average age. So if I directly run this one, if there will be any float, or if there will be any float values in the average age, then we'll get wrong answer. So suppose if I run this one, you will see that none of our test cases are getting cleared because it is rounding to, it is getting the float in the average age, but we have to return to the nearest integer. So for 38.5, nearest is 31. So what we can do is, we can use the function as round, and then we can round it to 0. So we don't have to round it to any particular decimal points, we just have to return it to the nearest integer. So now if I run it, I'm getting the error again. Now let's see what is the error. Okay, so we forgot to put one more condition, that we have to order it by employee ID. If I order it, order by e dot m dot employee ID. Now let's run this one. Test cases got cleared. So I'm showing all these steps because these are the steps which you also have to perform in the interview, and there will be many times where you have to look back to the conditions again. The suggestion here is to write all the constraint in the top so that you won't forget during writing a code. So now let's submit it. It got accepted. Thank you.